Yeah, howdy folks.
I like to discuss a dilemma where evolution is stuck with, and that is the presence of living fossils. What are living fossils? Living fossils are animals or plants that exist today in our day, that you can observe, that you can study, and that you can see how they are. But where people who dig up fossils are finding them in supposedly very, very, very old aged layers, according to the evolutionistic billion years of thinking people. I name some. The frogs, the ants, the bees, the daddy long legs insects, the coelacanths, and all kinds of plants and trees. These organisms are still alive today, exactly the same as these fossils indicate, from which they are claimed that they are millions and hundreds of million years old. And okay, if that is true, let's try to reason from your point of view. If that is true, then I have one question. Why did these organisms not change? Okay, then let's go back to the mechanism of evolution, supposed mechanism of evolution. There is mutation. I agree. There is mutation. I'm not against mutation. It happens. What is mutation? Mutation is when radioactive radiation, cosmic radiation, comes to the Earth and destroys the chemical composition of organisms. That happens. That's a fact. And that is going on every time, all the times. It's never stopped. If you accept billions of years, then cosmic radiation has always been there, even if you assume that the Earth exists only 4.5 billion years or so 4.6 billion years, whatever, years old. Cosmic radiation was even before that. I mean, if you accept the whole Big Bang theory and the whole billions of year ideas, then cosmic radiation has always been there. Whether it's from our sun or from distant stars, cosmic radiation has always been there. That means that the processes inducing mutations have always been there since the Big Bang, the supposed Big Bang, supposedly about 14 billion years ago. That means that evolution, based on cosmic radiation, and of course there are more ways to induce a mutation, like chemical influences that induce mutation. But yeah, since we are talking about chemicals, chemical mutation has always been there as well, because it's there. Chemicals are everywhere, including before the Earth was there, supposedly 4.6 billion years ago. So evolution agents have always been present, always been present, always active. So what you expect based on this knowledge is that evolution is an ongoing process, an eternally ongoing process in which organisms constantly are changed and genetically changed, etc., etc., etc. And we know that this is happening. Mutation is a constant process. So if you accept billions of years, and if you accept in that billions of years, you accept evolution, then you have to, scientifically, have to accept that these mutation-stimulating agents also have been there from before the supposed chemical origin of life. So that is an ongoing process. But that is contradictory to what we see and what we accept and what we know as the existence of living fossils. Because let's take, for example, a frog. A frog is a very highly sensitive organism to changes in chemistry, changes with mutations. So why have frogs never been evolving in other kinds of animals, while evolutionistic agents, cosmic radiation, chemical reactions and so on, have always been present? Why don't we see that? It's not observed. It's not part of observable science. And if it's not part of observable science, then it's no part of science at all. Sorry. It's called pseudoscience because it's not observable. It's imagination. Of course, you can imagine it happened. I can imagine a whole lot of stuff. I can imagine trainloads of comic books full of imagination. But imagination, picturing imagination, is not science. Science deals with facts, observable facts. And science is supposed to deliver us facts and not imagination. If science starts to promote imagination, then it's a part of pseudoscience, which is a big part of the secular science right now. Because, yeah, we have some theories, and you have to theorize and assume this happened, and we don't have the proof yet. But yeah, it happened. Nonetheless, it happened, even though we don't have the proof for it. So it's imagination. Secular science is promoting and stimulating and propagandistically promoting imagination and not science facts. It's actually a mix of these. Well, these are the facts, and the rest you have to imagine. Well, if it's part of imagination, then sorry, folks, but that's not science. Science is to solely deal with facts and not with imagination. Imagination is part of pseudoscience. Okay, so what we see is that according to the hypothesis of abiogenesis-evolution, those two belong together, they are linked together. And if you assume that these processes indeed have happened, then it's very strange that there are living fossils, that there are organisms that look exactly the same as today as the fossils that we find, because evolution, according to this theory, is an ongoing process, because there's always been cosmic radiation and there's always been chemical influences on very sensitive, mutation-sensitive organisms. And this is a very strong proof that evolution is not true. There is mutation, yes, there is, but it's always degenerative or neutral. It's never increasing genetic information. It's always deteriorating or it's neutral. And this is what I want to share, because this is a big dilemma in evolutionistic theory. There should be no living fossils. It's impossible. These animals should have, during the hundreds of millions of years, supposedly millions of years, should have changed, because the evolutionistic agents are always present, are always active. And no, damage control is not an argument, because also the system of damage control is a subject to a deterioration due to these cosmic radiation and chemical influences. So no, damage control is not an argument. Okay, this is the subject I wanted. This is the dilemma of evolution I'd like to put forward, and it's a hard time on your evolutionistic points of view, and this is what I wanted to discuss with you folks. Okay, hasta la vista. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.